Welcome back, everybody. OGDarkSpyder here. Another episode of Farming Simulator 22. Today, we're going to talk about nothing but farming. What do I need? What are maybe the possible top mods for just farming? So I thought I'd go over real quick everything that I think that you need to do a big farm. Now, you may need more of what I'm going to show you, but starting out, this is really all you need. And I'm very picky about what I use because when you first start out, there's not a lot of money. So this is what I do. Now, the tractors that I'm going to show you, I don't buy off the bat because they're very expensive. And generally I can only have one or two for quite some time, but I always go with my Case Magnum tractors. I always go with Case Magnums. They cost you like 1 to 2 slot points and that's it. They're just really expensive. So, you know, if I'm being honest about it, when I first started, I did go with mediums. And I usually went with a Valtra, there it is. I think actually I went with this one. That's generally what I started with. But I mean, at 200, and it's going to cost me $220,000 by the time it's all decked out, but you can get it just as is. So whatever tractors you're going to want to use is whatever you're going to get. You know, just keep doing those contracts or, you know, buy and sell land or however you want to do it. But these Case Magnums are 100% what I use. And eventually you can just keep affording to get more and more and more. I don't cultivate, so you won't find any cultivators in this video. I never cultivate. I made a video on cultivating versus plowing. Watch it, and I promise you, you're going to change your mind on cultivating as well. Also, you won't find any weeders or herbicide sprayers because I don't do any of those either. Very rarely do I get weeds. Very rarely. If I just happen to miss a little spot plowing, do I get a weed? And I always keep weeds on. I don't turn weeds off. I don't turn field stones off a lot. Sometimes yes, sometimes no. Just depends on what kind of mood I'm in. So, obviously a tractor, you're going to have to get a tractor, whatever tractor you decide, but my top modded tractor is going to be the Case IH Magnum. I think it's the Anniversary Edition. It's under large. Keep going. There it is right there. Yeah, special edition, not anniversary, excuse me. So base on it's $312. You can get it at $312,000 at base and don't change anything. Okay. Special mention would be the John Deere Series 9R. I have to give this a special mention. Because this thing is just crazy fast. 200 miles an hour. Unfortunately, it does not speed up the process of plowing or seeding or anything else. But it it does seem to just move faster when you're doing those jobs. Yeah, when I can get one of these, I get one really fast. But that's just an honorable mention on tractors. Now, as far as plows go, there's also only one kind of plow that I use, and that is the Lizard SM 802, I think is what it is. Let me get back here. SM 82. Now this sucker, you can plow it as is right now. Hook it up and just hit circle and drop the plow if you've got a smaller field, or you can unfold it. If you go in, you look at plows. Right here. It is the largest plow that I've come across yet at 26 meters. I haven't seen any other mods. There's definitely nothing base game that's going to get you that. You're talking 6 there, 4.9, 3.5. And I remember using these when I first started, and I hated plowing. Because, in Elm Creek, there's some big fields you got to plow. And and I got that one at 4.9 meters, and I'm like, yeah, I'm going to get this field done in 16 days. And I know that's part of the game, but doesn't mean I can't work smarter, not harder. So SM7282 is what I go with, and you can even put a hitch on it. So you could actually technically, if you wanted to, probably drag your seed or planter behind it. But that's the only plow I use. Now, let's talk fertilizer and lime spreading. I only use, well, I can't say only. There's a couple different things that I've used. Now, this all depends on your money again. These are the Lizard 30-foot flatbed auto-loading bale trailers. I know it doesn't look like it's going to load any bales anytime soon on this tractor, but on this flatbed. But you go in, you go to your mods. 30-foot flatbed auto-loading bale trailer. It can be a dozen different things. I mean, not a dozen, but it's quite a bit. And I mean, it holds 150,000 liters of fertilizer or lime. And I mean, base, you're talking $57,000. Now, I know you're thinking, well, that's a lot of money. Is it? Because as far as I'm concerned, if you go back into base game and you look at fertilizer spreaders right here, you can get that one for $25,000. It's got 3,200 liters in it. You're going to refill that thing 16 times, depending on the size of the field. Next one up is not bad. It only does 12 to 18 meters. You could get that for under $57,000 at $45,000. Again, it just depends on the amount of money you have. But the next one that even comes close to what we're using right now is this one at $65,000. Now, why would I spend $65,000 on that for 10,000 liters when I can get the other one for 57? So, now, worst case scenario, guys, if you really just don't have the money, I don't see it in my downloads. There's a 6-ton fertilizer spreader by Lizard that you can get. I don't think it's in here because I didn't need it. It's pretty cheap. And I think it does, it's a decent amount. And they hold a decent amount. But right now, these are what I've been using. The only other thing that I would use over these would be my case, the case Tridents. But they don't hold near what these hold. So these are what I'm using. Now, mulchers, I always use the same tool for mulching. It is obviously the Lizard multi-roller is what it is. Right there, the Mega Roll, multi-roller. You can make a field roller, it can be a grass roller, or it can be a mulching roller. So I use this as a mulcher, and it works just fine. It does 24.3 meters. They can be a little squirrely if you're trying to go real fast, but they work great. I've always used these. And they're not that expensive $140,000 is a lot of money, but I don't know what else you're going to use because base game, you got one for $41,000 that does, 12.3 meters is not terrible. And you're going to get the same thing out of it. So, anyway, so that's my mulchers. And guys, again, I don't cultivate. So I harvest, I mulch, I fertilize, then I plow, and then I replant. Now, if it needs lime in between, I throw lime on after I plow. But I don't cultivate because I don't want the weeds. It's an extra 2 steps that I don't really have to do. Because then you got to go get a weeder. You got to run over the field with a weeder. Or you got to buy herbicide spray and spray it. Herbicide can be kind of expensive. Now, as far as field stone collecting goes, which I didn't put in here, if you go to stone pickers, I only use one item, and that's just a fast stone picker trailer from Lizard. And it doubles as a forage wagon. You can go down to forage wagons. And I also use this one for my straw, grass, hay. That's all I use. Guys, I'm not cultivating. I'm not doing any of that extra stuff. I don't see the sense in it. I think it's kind of silly. It's a waste of time. As far as my planting and seeding goes, I only use Kinsey, the multi-fruit planter. Now, again, these vary depending on maps. There are some maps where I only have to buy one of these, and they plant everything. But there are some maps where they won't, like, there's another map that I play, and I have to have two of these because, like, one only plants the special crops that are for that map, and it doesn't plant the base game stuff. So I have to have this one for the special crops, then I have to buy another one for the regular crops. But otherwise, it normally plants everything. Like on Elm Creek, it'll plant everything you need. You don't need two. And it's great. I have a video on that. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. That Kinsey is pretty awesome. I don't know who made it, but kudos to them. See how this one, that's $153,000, and it plants just about everything. But if you go over one, it's a little slower, and it does all your special crops that are only for this map. So that's the one I've been going with for Deadwood map, is that one, because it does everything I need, plus the specials like the peas, the mustard, the prairie tall, and it's got alfalfa, clover, and of course your vegetables, and it also plants lavender. So, and guys, I don't know if you know, but I'm going to do a video on that lavender very, very soon. Some things I did not know, because lavender is very hard to come by on what map you can plant it on. There's only a couple maps that I'm aware of, which is Bucks County, PA, Deadwood. I don't know if you can plant lavender on Blackwater or not, but I don't know too many maps you can do lavender on, but this is one, and I can't wait to do the video on it to show you guys what you get. Harvesters. I didn't even put a harvester out here, but do we even need to discuss harvesters? Because as far as we know what I'm going to go with, I think if you watch any of my videos, you know it is always going to be a Reaper 2000 for me. They're expensive. Now, if you're hurting on money, which I've done this, the TARDIS harvester it does pretty good. It just doesn't hold anything. That one's $250,000, but it costs $129,500. Now, Deadwood has a mod. They have a John Deere. But to be honest about it, I don't buy anything John Deere if I can help it, except for that one R9 tractor. The Plows harvester is a little cheaper, and it holds a lot. It does really, really well. But my favorite, again, is the Reaper 2000. I do like the Reaper. Mainly because you can put the cool sticker on it. It's got a couple different stickers you can put on. I think it's cool. And I really like that one. It's pretty cool. But, you know, base game wise, if I couldn't afford one, I used that top liner. That's what I used when I first started playing. But I mean, just lease them. You don't have to buy them. Just lease everything out until you can afford to keep them. But generally, I do a takeover and I own all the fields, so eventually I usually have to have 2 or 3 harvesters. And as far as collecting the straw, we just went over that with the Forage wagon. But guys, that's my top mods and top items that I use for farming. And all my farms are very successful with no money cheats. This is a money cheat map, but I'm not really farming on here, and I'm not doing anything on it, but just showing you what I use. This is what I use. Again, it's hard to get my tractor sometimes, but, you know, I have to buy a cheaper one, and then I just sell it. Or if I'm doing contracts, I just use theirs. But this is what I use. No cultivators, no weeders, and no herbicide sprayers. I save that herbicide for my greenhouses that I use. But there you have it, guys. I hope you liked the video. I want you to like and subscribe. Hit that notifications button so you know when I got new content coming out. I'm putting out new content all the time. I really appreciate you watching. And guys, again, until we meet again.